Hello, I'm Kenneth Wayne Holloman, Holleman. I'm down in South Louisiana. I'm at 120 Oakcrest Drive, Lafayette, Louisiana. This house that you see behind me first came to my attention when I was a 7-year-old boy. This house at 120 Oakcrest Drive, Lafayette, Louisiana, zip code 70503, is what replaced my dad. When I was approaching 7 years of age, he lost his life. He was still in the military. They deemed it was an accident, and he received life insurance, or my mother received the life insurance. And the good mother that she was, it didn't take her long to buy this house. For the life of me, I couldn't remember the cost back in 1974 as far as dollars are concerned, but it has always been what replaced my dad. And I can assure you, 7-year-old boys would give up a lot of houses to have their dad around instead of a house. So this house has been in continuous ownership by my mother and by the paperwork in which it was purchased in 1954 here in Louisiana. It says she purchased it for herself and her heirs, which would be her children. Frances Ray, she's in a nursing home now suffering with Alzheimer's. My brother, who's younger than me, passed away in 1989. We're not sure of the reasons for his passing, but there was no foul play. All three of the children and the whole family has had quite a few difficulties over the years, but my mother kept this house and maintained this house. In 1997, according to her husband, he and her signed a will. I say that he's misinterpreted the will. He's in the process of making me destitute. I'm 66, November 29th, 2014, I'll be 67. My sister, 1 year older, is in the nursing home. And her son, who has power of attorney, has illegally rejected my sister's right to inheritance and taken himself in that place, in which he will be able to collect cash if they sell this house. My stepfather, Bernice Hofke, and my nephew, Donnie Doyle, have given me legal notice to vacate. This is June the 20th, 2014. And I don't have the funds to fight him. I found a non-profit organization has provided me with a lawyer, and I just kind of have to live with what he's doing, regardless of my intellectual and emotional concerns about it. This house has always been, for me in my heart, a memorial to my dad. He was a World War II POW who was freed in 1945, and he suffered at the hands of the Japanese during wartime, but they were very cruel in their way they handled him. But he survived that. Where approximately 50% of the Japanese, the Americans held by the Japanese, they didn't survive. They were either starved to death or they were just outright murdered as POWs. 1954 he passed. My mother got the life insurance and purchased this house. In 1997. That will, supposedly, by my mother, was signed. They're misinterpreting it. I'm doing what I can. The stepfather says he can dispose of this house and do what he wants to do. In any way, face it's now he's the owner. Somehow my nephew is part owner. So anyway, in 1998, I came to live here. My mother allowed me to stay here. I had full use of the house and what the law calls usufructs. which means that I have full use of it, and whatever fruits of labor I get from this house is mine. And that was the way it was for 15 years. My mother signed the will at 70 years of age, and she passed at 86 years of age in November 2013. I'm sure my mother didn't have any intention to make me homeless or cause me to vacate this house after living here and taking care of me for 15 years. Not only allowing me to stay here, but she also provided me other things. She wanted to take care of me. And she would come here in her 80s. She would come here at night in the evening after cooking a meal in her house, which is over a mile away. She'd drive here to deliver me a home-cooked meal. And she knew that I was a single-minded bachelor old man Marine, United States Marine Corps. I served in Vietnam. And now I'm faced with homelessness, destitute, because I don't have anything else. This is how I survived. And I have Social Security. I've been told to apply for that to see if I have any at all, because of my job choices and employment over the years. I have little contribution to Social Security. I'm not necessarily physically disabled. So anyway, here it is, 2014, and my stepfather, who's a Korean veteran, they've just been like cold-bloodedly. They come over here and say, "You got to go. We're going to sell the house." And Vern's stepfather is going to retire in Erath and just have a good old time. Go. I'd like to keep this house, of course, so that I won't be homeless, but also because my father's death paid for this house. Yes, my mother did the good deed of purchasing it, but his life insurance, his law, you cannot pay a child. There's not enough money or houses to pay for the loss of a parent, the mama and the daddy. Either one of them goes or both of them goes. There's nothing that you can do to satisfy that loss. But this at least allows me, a veteran of a World War II veteran, to survive. My mother always could not understand how she used a fancy word called austere. Austere means that you're just very extremely conservative. So I'm putting this on the internet, and I hope that you hear my story. I'm doing some writing. These are things that I've enjoyed doing, and ask that you contribute. My goal is $110,000, and I explain how that's broken down if I don't get the rightful heirship, inheritance, that's due to me. So thank you for listening, and I'm also going to provide some photographs and some stories, historical information concerning myself and my family, and veterans, if you will. I promise you I won't forget the other veterans out there. I've worked on that for a long time. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, according to the last information, I have officially only 8 days left, somewhere around June the 28th. So, thanks.